Hello everybody, what's going on? I am Eli Martyr. Thanks for joining me here on the FreeMelon Society once again. Today we're going to jump back into the secret classroom and we're going to talk about pain. What the heck is pain? Where does pain come from? We always talk about it, we always hear about it. We talk about reducing pain, talk about inflammation and pain, but what is pain? So let's jump back into the secret classroom and talk about what everybody wants to avoid. So if you do a casual search on the internet, you'll probably find lots of definitions of pain. So if I look at the Encyclopedia Britannica right now, I can read, pain is a complex experience consisting of a physiological and a psychological response to a noxious stimulus. Pain is a warning mechanism that protects an organism by influencing it to withdraw from harmful stimuli, and it is primarily associated with injury or the threat of injury. If I go to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, we get pain is a localized or generalized unpleasant bodily sensation or complex of sensations that cause mild to severe physical discomfort and emotional distress, and typically result from bodily disorder, such as injury or disease. Here's another site, Medline Plus, and they seem to give a pretty good definition for pain. So pain is a signal in your nervous system that something may be wrong, okay? It is an unpleasant feeling, such as a prick, tingle, sting, burn, or ache. Pain may be sharp or dull, it may come and go, or it may be constant. You may feel pain in one area of your body, such as your back, abdomen, chest, pelvis, or you may feel pain just all over. So that helps a little bit. Pain is a signal that something is wrong in your body. Okay? Pain is very often associated with the site of an injury or trauma because there are signals that are conducted from the site of injury to your central nervous system, to your brain. And those signals tell you when something is wrong, right? Or tell you that you have been injured. But what is it about that process of signal translation that causes pain, that makes us experience pain? Because with our conventional definitions, it doesn't help explain why people seem to have injuries but no pain, right? So we've all heard of people who have, let's say, no cartilage between their discs or between their vertebrae, or missing cartilage in the knee, and they can have no pain. Or they might have pain with the same type of injury or the same lack of cartilage, right? So there's this difference between the two. So how do we reconcile that? So what is pain? You experience pain when there's a disruption in the electrical flow coming from your body to your brain or to your central nervous system. And that flow of energy, anytime there's a mild disturbance in the flow, or we could say when the electrical resistance is increased, then you experience pain. So I've got my hand over here, right? And right now I'm experiencing no pain in my hand because the electricity, the signal propagation from all of the neurons and cells in my hand are flowing properly and well without any electrical resistance, right? Without any resistance to the flow of electricity from my hands, to my central nervous system. Okay, now let's say I do something really silly.
Scorpion.
Okay, let's say I go do something really silly. And I want to experiment with the signal conductivity in my hand. So I stick it into a wood chipper. The wood chipper mangles my hand. I reel in pain. I start screaming, yell for mom, all that kind of stuff. So what happened there is that when I stuck my hand into the wood chipper, all of a sudden, because the tissue was disrupted and traumatized, the structure was damaged, and that damaged structure impaired the flow of electricity from the site, from my hand to my central nervous system. And as soon as that flow is disrupted in any way, it tells my body that there's something wrong here, and it sends me a lot of pain. And the more disruption in that signal, the more pain, because I need a feedback system to tell me that something is either a little bit wrong or really, really, really wrong. And in this case, I did something that was so silly that it caused a lot of trauma and therefore a lot of pain. Okay? Because that signal is experiencing more electrical resistance. Okay? So when I say electrical resistance, let's say electricity is flowing from here to here, right? Anything that makes the flow of electricity from here to here more difficult or more labored or slowed down in any way, that would be electrical resistance, okay? So resisting the flow of electricity. in Chinese medicine, they call this flow of electricity or even energy, they call this qi. And this is where the whole science of acupuncture comes into play. Because what acupuncture is doing, it's understanding the energy meridians in the body and using electrically conductive needles to stimulate those energy meridians, okay, at certain key points on the body, and thus allowing the electricity or the qi to flow properly. So let's say you've got damaged tissue. Now you put these electrically conductive needles into the arm at key strategic points. And what you do is you assist in the propagation of electricity through the body. And that starts to alleviate pain. What you're doing essentially is you're helping the body learn to conduct electricity in a more efficient way, sometimes even skipping across the site of injury. Let's say I grab a light bulb and I smash it on the table and I go, yeah, and I just like make a huge gash in my neck, okay? Something outrageous like that. Hypothetically speaking, if there were a way to, as soon as I made that injury on my neck, if there were a way to propagate the signals perfectly from the site of injury to my nervous system, to my central nervous system, then I would experience zero pain, even though there's an injury, because it's the signal propagation that is important. So when the tissues start to heal themselves, then the signals start to propagate again more smoothly with less electrical resistance, and you get the elimination of pain once the tissue heals, okay? So once the structure realigns and reconfigures itself such that it is now moving electricity properly, then you experience no pain. This also helps us understand why things like massage feel good. Because when you're massaging, anytime you experience touch, especially from another person, the experience of touch here, what happens is when you touch, you decrease electrical resistance. And when you decrease that electrical resistance, the sensation that you experience when that happens is good, feels nice. So imagine if I've got a whole line of cells. So I've got a skin layer, okay? And that skin layer is made up of a bunch of neurons, right? A bunch of cells that are propagating a signal through them, okay? You're gonna have to visualize this with me. So you've got all these cells, okay, in a skin layer, and they're all propagating a signal. So let's imagine a finger now comes down and it presses down into the skin. All right. What is going to happen is by pressing down into the skin, you're squishing or compressing a lot of these tissues together. And if you squish them together, so let's say bringing these two cells, okay, these two neurons, squishing them and they come closer together, imagine. And what happens is you decrease the electrical resistance because now there's a little bit less area for the signal to have to go through. Whereas if they were uncompressed, okay, the electricity flowing through them has to cross through a bit more neuron. But if they're squished together, there's a bit less, okay, a bit less area to cover for the flow of electricity. And so it's that compression of the tissues together that decreases the flow, right? The ease at which electricity can flow from one place to another. And so this is why massage feels good. And that's pretty much all there is to it. That is what pain is. So anytime you have pain, anytime you're doing rehabilitation exercises, or anytime you're trying to alleviate pain, what you're doing when you're trying to rehabilitate yourself from pain or injury, you are trying to get the flow of electricity from the site of your injury to your central nervous system, to your brain, to go unimpeded. Okay, you're trying to rehabilitate the flow of electricity in your body. And as soon as you do that, the pain goes away. So that is what you are doing when you're trying to alleviate pain. So this pain response is, of course, 100% necessary because it allows you to know when you are in good and proper function. So as soon as we intellectually use something from the outside to immediately alleviate pain, okay, whether it's natural and unharmful or whether it is unnatural and harmful, either way, right? You might not be addressing the exact cause of pain. So I take an Advil, I take a Tylenol or whatever. Basically, I send a nuke into my system and obliterate the neurons. And so now I'm not getting the signal of pain from the site of pain. And that's not helpful because the communication is broken and I might just go and injure myself even more, or cause more pain without even knowing. Okay. And then when the drug wears off, then I experience even more pain the next day or whatever it is. There are natural ways to alleviate pain. So something really interesting for either headaches and really anywhere you experience pain, if you put something onto your skin that propagates electricity well, is a good conductor of electricity, you probably would experience a bit of relief in pain. So for example, if you have a headache, one thing you could do is you could take the inside of a banana peel. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but you take a banana peel and you just put the peel over your head, over the site of injury, and even around the back of your neck, okay, or underneath your head at the back. And just strap the banana peel, the inside part of the banana peel, over and around your head. And what you probably notice is that your headache symptoms go away temporarily. Now, apparently with injuries, if you can find a way to propagate the signal properly, okay, across an injury, and you do it consistently enough with whatever the method of treatment is, then your body can learn to get that signal from point A to point B, right, across an injury site. And while the tissue is healing, you're rerouting the signal around it in such a way that the flow is proper, and that can help speed heal the injury, right? Because the energy is flowing through it better because of whatever your treatment is. That can actually help heal the injury with more rapidity, apparently. But it is for that reason, right? It's for that reason that some people can have, or many people can have, a similar type of injury, and some are pain-free and others aren't. And the reason is because the people that aren't experiencing the pain have regular flow of electricity from the site of injury to the brain, and the people that don't, or the people that do experience pain, do not have proper flow of electricity. Okay, so that is what pain is. Okay, that is why you experience pain. So if you didn't know this, well, now you do, and you can make use of that information in whatever way you want. All right. Thank you very much, guys, for sitting in here in the secret classroom with me, Eli Martyr, on the FreeMelon Society. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed to it yet, and give this video a like and a thumbs up if you found this helpful or useful. And lastly, make sure you have yourself a wonderful day. All right? Thank you very much, guys. Love you very much, and we'll see you on the next one. Okay, bye-bye.